listen and practice. Elara often felt a tightening in her chest, a familiar knot of anxiety. The mere thought of speaking English, especially to native speakers, made her palms sweat. She dreamed of fluent conversations, but reality was a stuttered hello and then silence. Her ambition to travel seemed distant, locked behind a language barrier. This fear had to change. She spent countless hours listening to podcasts and watching films, hoping immersion alone would magically unlock her tongue. Yet, when the opportunity arose to truly talk, words vanished, replaced by an overwhelming sense of inadequacy. Elara knew passive learning was insufficient, active engagement was desperately needed for progress. She craved genuine connection. The internet became her late-night companion, a desperate search for solutions. She typed frantic queries into the search bar: how to talk to anyone in English. How to talk in English. Each click felt like a tiny step, a glimmer of hope. She needed a breakthrough, a real strategy. One evening, a particularly insightful article caught her eye, titled "English Study Plan for Talking." It wasn't just about grammar rules or vocabulary lists, it emphasized practical application. The article spoke of consistent practice and building confidence, urging readers to step out of their comfort zone. Elara felt a spark ignite. This plan wasn't a quick fix, but a sustained commitment. It advised starting with daily listen and practice sessions, actively mimicking sounds and intonation. Elara began shadowing speakers from British documentaries, repeating phrases, trying to capture the rhythm. It felt awkward initially, yet strangely empowering in her quiet room. The plan stressed how to improve your fluency, suggesting that repetition was key. Elara started recording herself speaking, then playing it back, wincing at her mistakes but learning from them. This self-assessment became a critical tool, helping her identify areas needing more work. Her ears were becoming attuned. Remembering new words was another significant hurdle. Hundreds of words flew in and out of her memory like fleeting birds. The article suggested spaced repetition and creating personal connections with new vocabulary. Simple flashcards were no longer enough, she needed a deeper method. So, Elara started incorporating new words into short, simple sentences she would utter aloud throughout her day. If she learned ubiquitous, she'd say, "Coffee shops are ubiquitous in this city." This active recall solidified their meaning, moving them from passive recognition to active usage within her growing lexicon. She also maintained a dedicated notebook for vocabulary and context, noting down entire phrases or idioms rather than isolated words. This helped her understand nuance and natural usage. The goal wasn't just to know words, but to effectively wield them in conversation, making her communication richer. The plan heavily emphasized how to talk with anyone, which terrified her. The initial advice was to start small, perhaps with a friendly shop assistant or a tourist asking for directions. These low-stakes interactions were designed to build courage, one tiny conversation at a time. She took a deep breath. Her first attempt was at a local bakery, ordering a croissant. Her voice trembled slightly as she articulated her request. The baker smiled, understanding perfectly. This small victory, a mere transaction, felt like a monumental achievement, a tiny crack in her wall of apprehension. Confidence slowly started blooming. Gradually, Elara expanded her comfort zone. She began asking for recommendations at bookstores, initiating brief chats with fellow commuters. Each interaction, no matter how brief, chipped away at her ingrained shyness. She realized most people were patient and kind, happy to engage in simple exchanges. Her focus specifically shifted to Let's Talk in British English, influenced by her love for British comedies and literature. She sought out online communities and language exchange partners who specialized in the accent and idioms. This niche focus provided a clear, manageable goal for her pronunciation. She downloaded apps that connected her with native British speakers, allowing her to practice conversations in a safe, judgment-free environment. These virtual exchanges were invaluable, providing real-time feedback on her intonation and word choices. Her ears became accustomed to varied regional accents. Every day, without fail, Elara dedicated time to her British English studies. She mimicked news presenters, watched historical dramas, and even learned common British slang. The consistency, though challenging, steadily eroded her previous anxieties about sounding unnatural or being misunderstood. She was committed. Her English study plan for talking wasn't a rigid timetable but a flexible framework. It adapted to her daily schedule, ensuring that practice remained sustainable and enjoyable. This adaptability prevented burnout, making her language learning journey a marathon, not a sprint, fostering long-term dedication. How to learn English became less about daunting textbooks and more about living the language. Elara started narrating her daily activities in English in her head, often out loud when alone. This constant internal monologue strengthened her spontaneous thought processes and word retrieval. She discovered that simply talking to herself, articulating thoughts and describing surroundings, dramatically improved her immediate access to vocabulary. It built muscle memory for her mouth and tongue, preparing them for real-life conversations. This self-dialogue proved incredibly powerful for fluency. The concept of how to improve your fluency truly clicked when she stopped translating in her head. Instead of thinking in her native language and converting, she forced herself to form thoughts directly in English. This mental shift was difficult initially, but yielded significant breakthroughs. This direct thinking reduced hesitation and made her responses more immediate. Conversations flowed more naturally, without awkward pauses for internal translation. It was like switching from a scenic route to a direct highway, speeding up her linguistic processing dramatically and effectively. She started attending local language exchange meetups, nervous but determined. The first few times, she mostly listened, absorbing the different accents and conversational patterns. The atmosphere was welcoming, and people genuinely wanted to help each other learn and grow together. Slowly, Elara began contributing more to conversations, initially with simple questions, then sharing short anecdotes. Each successful interaction, no matter how brief, bolstered her courage. She realized that making mistakes was part of the learning process, not a sign of failure or incompetence. Her confidence in how to talk to anyone grew exponentially. She initiated conversations at coffee shops, asking baristas about their favorite blends. She engaged with tourists, offering directions, even if her directions were sometimes slightly roundabout. Every interaction was a mini lesson. One memorable afternoon, while waiting for a train, Elara struck up a conversation with an elderly British couple. They were discussing their holiday plans. She bravely joined in, asking about their itinerary and sharing a local insight. The conversation flowed effortlessly for several minutes. She felt a thrill, a genuine connection forged through shared words. This wasn't just practice, it was real communication, fluid and spontaneous. The couple praised her English, which filled her with immense pride and validated all her hard work over the preceding months of dedicated effort. Elara continued refining her how to remember words strategy. She used mnemonics, associating new words with vivid, often humorous, images. For instance, garrulous became a talking parrot named Gary, never shutting up, constantly chattering away. This creative approach made retention easier. She also integrated new vocabulary into her writing, even if it was just a personal journal entry or an email to a friend. Active use, whether spoken or written, cemented the words in her long-term memory. Passive recognition transformed into active, confident usage, expanding her lexicon effectively. Her listen and practice routine evolved. She no longer just mimicked, she analyzed. She focused on the nuances of British English intonation, the rising and falling patterns of speech. Understanding these subtleties made her own speech sound more natural and authentic to a native speaker. The goal of How to Talk in English was no longer simply to be understood, but to express herself with precision and personality. She started experimenting with humor, irony, and more complex sentence structures. Her conversations became deeper, reflecting her true thoughts and feelings accurately. Elara discovered that true fluency wasn't about perfect grammar, but about confidence and connection. It was about being able to convey her message, even with a few mistakes, and to genuinely engage with others. This realization liberated her from the pressure of perfection. She even started a small online Let's Talk in British English group, offering support and encouragement to other learners. Sharing her journey and tips helped her consolidate her own knowledge. Teaching, she found, was an incredible way to reinforce her understanding and improve simultaneously. Her group members often asked her how to improve your fluency. Elara consistently advised them to embrace mistakes as learning opportunities. She encouraged them to speak up, even if only for a few words, rather than remain silent out of fear. Small steps accumulated into giant leaps. She taught them her English study plan for talking methods, emphasizing daily consistency over sporadic bursts of effort. She demonstrated how actively listening to British media, then summarizing it aloud, could dramatically boost comprehension and speaking abilities naturally. Elara's transformation was remarkable. From a shy, hesitant learner, she had become a confident communicator, unafraid to express herself. Her journey wasn't flawless, but it was authentic, marked by perseverance and a genuine passion for connection. She genuinely loved speaking English. She now traveled widely, navigating different countries with ease, her British English accent often a topic of pleasant conversation. The world had truly opened up to her, not just geographically, but socially. She could forge meaningful relationships wherever she went, building bridges. People often commented on her natural conversational flow, her ease in discussing various topics. They wouldn't believe she once struggled so profoundly with basic introductions. Her story became an inspiration, proving that dedication truly pays off when learning a new language. Elara reflected on her initial fear, the fear of how to talk to anyone. She realized that every single uncomfortable conversation, every fumbled phrase, had contributed to her growth. It was a testament to the power of continuous, brave practice and unwavering persistence. The journey of how to learn English was continuous, she knew. There were always new words, new idioms, new nuances to discover. But now, the process was joyful, an exciting exploration rather than a daunting chore, fueled by genuine curiosity and connection. She became a living example of how a well-structured English study plan for talking combined with unwavering personal commitment could lead to remarkable linguistic breakthroughs. Her success inspired many others in her community to embark on their own language learning journeys. Her how to remember words became almost second nature, integrated into her daily life effortlessly. She now noticed new vocabulary in books, films, and conversations, actively seeking to understand and internalize them without conscious effort or dedicated study sessions. Her ability to how to talk in English fluently meant she could now share her rich experiences and unique perspectives with a global audience. Her voice, once silenced by apprehension, now resonated with clarity and confidence, reaching far beyond her initial dreams. The listen and practice phase had laid a rock-solid foundation for her remarkable progress. It had trained her ears and tongue, preparing her for the complexities of real-time communication. This consistent daily ritual proved to be utterly indispensable for success. She often recounted her journey, emphasizing the importance of simply starting, even if imperfectly. Don't wait for perfection, she would advise. Just talk. Make mistakes. That's how you truly improve, genuinely learning through practical, everyday application. For Elara, Let's Talk in British English wasn't just about an accent. It was about cultural understanding and embracing a specific linguistic identity she admired. This focus added depth and richness to her learning, making it a truly immersive experience. Her journey proved that how to improve your fluency isn't a secret formula, but consistent, deliberate practice. It involves stepping out of one's comfort zone repeatedly, embracing challenges as opportunities for growth, and celebrating every small triumph along the way. Elara now found joy in every English conversation, from casual greetings to deep philosophical debates. The language, once a formidable barrier, had transformed into a vibrant bridge, connecting her to diverse people and new experiences around the world seamlessly. She frequently visited her old online forums, offering encouragement and practical advice to newcomers struggling with the same fears she once battled. Her empathy stemmed from personal experience, making her guidance resonate deeply with aspiring English speakers. Her story became a beacon for countless learners, a testament to the fact that fluency is attainable for anyone with perseverance. It wasn't about innate talent, but about sustained effort, smart strategies, and an unyielding desire to communicate effectively with others. The initial thought of how to talk with anyone no longer sparked fear but anticipation. She eagerly sought out opportunities to engage, confident in her ability to express herself clearly and connect meaningfully with diverse individuals from various backgrounds. Elara's success was a powerful reminder that learn English is an active verb, requiring consistent engagement and courageous participation. It's about doing, not just knowing, about speaking, not just studying, truly living the language day by day. She still committed to daily listen and practice sessions, knowing that maintenance was just as important as initial acquisition. Language skills, like any other, require consistent upkeep to remain sharp and effective, a perpetual learning journey. Her how to talk in English proficiency was now a natural extension of herself, a powerful tool for self-expression and global connection. It had reshaped her identity, making her feel more capable and connected in a shrinking world. She continued to share her how to improve your fluency insights, emphasizing the importance of finding one's own enjoyment in the process. When learning becomes fun, consistent effort feels less like a chore and more like an exciting personal adventure. Elara, the once timid learner, was now an English-speaking advocate, inspiring others with her journey from silence to eloquent expression. Her life was a vibrant testament to the transformative power of language learning, a true global citizen. Her advice to all was simple: find your English study plan for talking, commit to how to remember words, and most importantly, dare to talk with anyone. The world awaits your voice, ready to listen and engage with your unique perspective. And so, Elara's story, a beacon for anyone asking how to learn English, continued. Her voice, once hesitant, now resonated with confidence, a testament to dedication and the joy of unhindered communication, inspiring countless others. She frequently reflected on the initial days, the overwhelming feeling of not knowing how to talk to anyone in English. The contrast between her past self and her current confident persona was stark, a profound transformation achieved through persistent effort. Her journey exemplified that true fluency, especially when you let's talk in British English, comes from embracing every opportunity to speak, regardless of perceived imperfections. It's about genuine interaction and the courage to connect across cultures. Elara's success was a vivid illustration. Language learning is not just acquiring words, it is about finding your voice, building bridges, and confidently stepping into a world of endless conversations, one brave word at a time.